let there be no mistake. We shall completely destroy Japan's power to make war.
Men, this mission is unlike any other. Our target is Hiroshima. The bomb codenamed Little Boy has an unprecedented destructive power. Our objective is to end this war swiftly.
We are about to embark on a mission that will make history. We're carrying Little Boy, the greatest destructive force ever created. Let's make it count.
It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe. The force from which the sun draws his power has been loosed against those who brought war to the Far East.
Let's get this bird in the air. Wheels up.
All systems go.
Heading set. We're on course for the target.
Weather conditions over Hiroshima are clear. Perfect visibility for the drop.
Good. Barabee, how's the bomb sight looking?
Bomb sight is calibrated, Colonel.
All systems are functioning properly.
All right, Matt, this is it. Prepare to arm Little Boy.
Arming Little Boy now, Colonel.
We're on final approach.
Maintain altitude. This needs to be precise. All systems are go. Prepare for Little Boy release.
Target in sight. Locked off.
Altitude steady. We're ready when you are, Barabee.
On the way. Little Boy is on its way.
Let's get out of here, boys. My God, what have we done? Keep it together. Focus on getting us back.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. With this bomb, we have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction. We have spent more than $2 billion on the greatest scientific gamble in history, and we have won. We shall completely destroy Japan's power to make war. It was to spare the Japanese people from utter destruction. If they do not now accept our terms, they may expect a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth.
The United States had already planned for a second bombing in the case that Japan did not immediately surrender after Hiroshima. In the morning of August 9, 1945, the U.S. B-29 bombers took off from Tinian Island yet again and began a 6.5-hour journey towards Japan. At around 11:02 a.m., a B-29 bomber detonated the atomic bomb nicknamed Fat Man at about 1,650 feet or 500 meters above the city of Nagasaki, Japan.
What has been done is the greatest achievement of organized science in history.
Sir, at the time that you first found out about the atomic bomb, did you regard it as a curse or a blessing to mankind?
Well, I thought it was a blessing. I thought it could be used and made a blessing. I never worried about it being a curse. I wanted a weapon that would win the war, and it did. That's what I was interested in.
During my first few hours in Hiroshima, I could not stop thinking about what this exact spot where I am sitting right now was like 79 years ago, and who those people were and what they or their future children would have been like today. Today, I am in a city that is known all around the world, but unfortunately, the fame comes from a very dark day. On the day the atomic bomb was dropped on August 6th, 1945, everything changed for mankind. It was the first time we saw what the creation of man was able to do to 140,000 people in the blink of an eye. It's hard to imagine a place like this exists after thinking about what happened here in 1945. Especially because the Hiroshima you see today, at first glance, had you not known about its history, would make it even hard to guess that such a catastrophic event happened here aside from the memorial areas. The city is modern, beautiful, and seemingly full of life, but I wanted to get to know what this place was really like 79 years ago, and the only way to find this out was to locate someone who had first-hand knowledge of the infamous day. As I explore one of the most historic cities in the world, staying connected is essential, and my eSIM from Holofly has made that incredibly easy. Holofly's unlimited data plans are a must when traveling, as you need your phone for just about everything, like when I need to use my translation apps or just simply use my GPS to find directions. And with access to over 200 destinations worldwide, Holofly's simple and reliable installation process takes just minutes, especially when you compare that to the time it takes to set up a physical SIM in a store. You can get personalized data packages, making it affordable to keep in touch with loved ones or just simply to be able to upload your favorite videos and pictures, capturing all these special moments in places around the world like I am here in Hiroshima. So if you want to get set up with your eSIM now, grab your phone and download Holofly's app now and use the code WORLDNOMAC for an exclusive discount for you all watching today. Anyways, it's time to head over and meet with a local Japanese woman who will bring us closer to the dark past of Hiroshima. Her name is Masa, and she is a second-generation survivor, and I'm here with her now. Hi Masa, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. welcome to Hiroshima.
Thank you so much. Masa is a Hiroshima native, and while she wasn't born yet when the bomb went off, her father, grandmother, and the family were present at the time the atomic bomb was dropped on August 6th, 1945. And today she will be taking us all around Hiroshima as we walk around the downtown area of the city, and she will be sharing some tragic and disturbing details about what life was like after the bomb went off. Masa and I met in front of arguably the most iconic building in Hiroshima, which was once known as the Prefectural Commercial Exhibition Hall, but now known as the Atomic Bomb Dome. This building was directly under the hypocenter of the atomic bomb.
Around this area is very close to the hypocenter.
Yeah.
So this area was 100% no one lived.
So it was like any other day, like today, early in the morning,
Sure.
sunny out, and just a typical day, and nobody had any idea that that was coming.
August 6th, most of the day is very, very hot, sunny day. I almost like crying every year because the 1945 August 6th was very sunny, hot day.
Yeah.
So I imagine the people, people start working and having fun. One bomb destroyed everything. So the sadness of those people make me cry.
How come this stayed standing?
Because it last comes from the top, and this building has a lot of windows, so the blow comes up from the window. That's why it still stands.
Was this the only building that survived?
No, several buildings remained reconstructed or just destroyed and built another buildings.
Yeah. I was trying to imagine the scale of destruction from the bomb, but it was honestly nearly unimaginable. Next, Masa showed me where the B-29's target drop point was for the bomb.
That bridge, and that's the actual target of bombing. It's very easy to find from the air.
The bomb exploded in the air some distance above this point on the ground, which we shall call Ground Zero. The extent of material damage can be illustrated by superimposing the same area over Washington, D.C., where we can well imagine the effect of a similar bomb on the normal political, military, and economic functions of the capital.
But the actual bombing was there. Yeah, because so high, it doesn't matter how far, it's within the small area.
One of the most horrifying thoughts was the temperature of the blast on the ground.
The temperature is about 3 to 4,000 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Iron melts at 1,500 degrees.
To put that in perspective on how hot the ground was, boiling water is 100 degrees Celsius and can give you second to third degree burns. The ground level near the hypocenter was at 4,000 degrees Celsius, which is roughly 40 times hotter than boiling water. And at the center of the explosion's fireball, temperatures reached approximately 1 million degrees Celsius, which is much hotter than the sun's surface temperature of approximately 5,500 degrees Celsius. This intense heat caused immediate vaporization of materials and people close to the hypocenter and started fires across a vast area, contributing to the widespread devastation in Hiroshima. These high temperatures also caused the characteristic shadows known as nuclear shadows, where objects or people shielded surfaces like cement from the intense heat, leaving just their dark silhouettes imprinted behind.
The top of the building was covered with copper.
Oh, okay.
But the temperature is so high, so copper melts instantly. That's the first experiment for human beings, right?
Yeah.
And nobody knows, and United States didn't announcement or something like that. So people just do the ordinary things. People were just about start working, or some students go to school and do the demolition thing. Yeah, like my father was eating breakfast at the morning.
Really? In the weeks leading up to the bombing, the US dropped millions of leaflets all over Japanese cities, warning Japan to surrender and civilians to evacuate, threatening an air raid will be coming from the sky, but nothing about the atomic bomb nor its targeted cities, so it was nearly impossible to predict, which led to mass casualties around Hiroshima to a point where there are multiple studies with different predictions on how many people died.
Nobody knows how many people died at the bombing, because if you lost whole family, how can you count? Right? But some studies says about 140,000 people died at the end of the year.
At the end of the year?
Including bomb and after effects.
Wow.
But the other studies said more than 200,000.
The atomic explosion achieved its results at Hiroshima by the release of energy in three forms: blast, heat, and radiation. Radiation, as from X-rays or radium, ultimately caused the death of almost everyone who was fully exposed up to half a mile from ground zero.
Nobody knows about the radiations. I mean, they never seen like that, right? And people were so confused, and something happened. Some horrible things happened in Hiroshima. People heard, and people from Hiroshima City around this area go to the countryside to escape, and people coming to Hiroshima City to help people. But no one knows about the radiations.
So a lot of those people that went to help ended up getting affected from it.
Right.
Ooh. Imagining this was hard to process, but what Masa will tell us next is heart-wrenching.
My father didn't tell anything because he said it recalls the sights and the smells. Smells stick on your head. Only two things he said is he was 9 years old. He survived because the household covered him and his family.
Wow.
So it prevent the heat and blast. My grandma, his father, and younger brothers, and my father escaped to the countryside to see the relatives. On the way to the suburbs, he saw all naked, burned lady walking like this because the skin was melted and hanging from their arms, and all clothes were burned and walking like zombie. But still, she is a woman, so she felt some kind of shame or something. So she took leaves and covered her tits and the other parts. So that's my father told me.
Wow.
Heat, liberated in one blinding flash by the explosion.
You see the yellow building?
Yeah.
It used to be a kimono shop. And then during the wartime, the military took place and become fuel companies. And 37 people were just about to start working. But the one guy went to the basement to get some documents, and an explosion happened. So only one guy was survived. He said he lived longer, the survivor. His name is Nomura-san. And he said he didn't understand what happened. So confused. And he just, the old blocks were covering him, and he just go up and see there's nothing.
The immediate effect of the annihilation of Hiroshima among the survivors was uncontrolled terror accompanied by hysterical activity or flight from the city for shelter and food.
Even you survived, people doesn't know about the radiation, so there was some kind of discrimination to the survivors.
Oh wow.
Because there's the outside of Hiroshima city, people thought the radiation is contagious.
Oh, okay.
So people doesn't want Hiroshima people come.
So if they heard, hey, you're from Hiroshima,
no.
they stand
Please
away.
don't come.
Really? And how long did that last? Like decades?
Not decades, but maybe a few years. And then people getting knowledge and then figure out it's not contagious. But the women cannot marry to others because it affects to the babies.
Oh, wow.
So we stick together and the Hiroshima people marry to Hiroshima people.
Yeah. And how is that now in 2024?
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm sure changed quite a bit where it's not as much Hiroshima and Hiroshima, but still majority, or
people are coming to Hiroshima and live because it's such a nice city.
Yeah,
right?
It's amazing. I love it here. I'm like 3 days is not enough. I need 2 weeks at least.
Sure.
Yeah. What was it like, let's say, over the next 5-year period? Was that a very slow rebuild, or was it maybe 10 years before they started reconstructing and clearing things, or how was that time frame?
This park was built 10 years after, so during the 10 years people were struggling because they lost everything. And you can see the picture in the museum, only the flatland, the burned flatland. After that, 3 months later, there was nothing. Just a little bit outside of the city, people built the small houses with trees and textile or some kind of shelter or something. And then, I think it took 10 years to build their own house.
And the task of reconstruction began. Each family had to do what it could, as there was no organized plan for rehabilitation.
Is this flame always burning right here?
Yes, it is, but it's not eternal. It's burning because we still have nuclear weapons on this planet. So someday we throw all the nuclear weapons away, we can turn them out. This is the Pond of Peace. The people were burned and they were so thirsty. They wanted to drink water or cool down their body, but all radiated. And the survivor always said people begging the water, but some said don't give them water because if they drink water, they're gonna die. Then we put this clean water to dedicate to the victims. You know why the people drink water and they die is people are so tense to live, even though whole body was burned, not only outside, inside too, and it's so tense. Then they drink water, it loses the tense to live, relieved. So it loses the power to live. I have 3 kids and 2 daughters and 1 son, and my daughters go to the same as my private school, and they raised the signature against the nuclear bomb, and she bring that to the UN
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
New York.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure you're so proud.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am. And also she met the Japanese Prime Minister.
Really? Wow. Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
Yes. So things like the Hiroshima people, even they are young or elder people, continuing the same thing to share the peaceful mind.
That's amazing. So you'll find that now in, I guess they would be third generation, your
Yes.
kids then.
Yes.
So third generation are still putting a lot of effort towards eliminating nuclear, like ultra destructive weapons.
Right. Yeah. It's very, very difficult though.
Yeah, I can imagine. Understanding, I only know a little bit about the politics around nuclear weapons, but yeah, it's a dark part of the warfare.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change anything. The mind of Hiroshima people, they feel always hoping the peace inside. That's Hiroshima people.
Hiroshima is one of 2 locations where the atomic bomb was dropped.
Yes. The Hiroshima is the first. The Nagasaki is the second.
Yeah.
Yep. And Nagasaki was the 3 days after, August 9th.
And how did they select these cities?
One of the reason is a military base city, and the other is those cities have the flatland, because Americans wanted to see how far the explosion goes, how far they can destroy.
Wow.
And the other reason is it must be the sunny day, because they want to see before and after, and easy to drop to the target.
Wow. And when it came to Nagasaki, what was the destruction like there? And how many people died? How many victims were there?
90,000, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
At Nagasaki, the destructive capacity of the bomb used was greater than that at Hiroshima. But the actual area razed was smaller because of the terrain and the point of fall of the bomb.
Nagasaki wasn't first pick for the second bombing. They wanted to bomb Kokura City, and people said Kokura City was crowded, but I heard some stories about the Kokura citizens. There's a iron factory to make iron, and the people were burning the coal tar and make the smoke and cover the sky.
What was it like in other cities, like not knowing what tomorrow was going to bring?
Yeah, maybe all Japanese was so anxious, and people thought Japan will never surrender. But the government was just on the table to surrender. But they wanted to remain the empire system. During the conference, but the Americans dropped the second bomb. Population in Hiroshima?
1 million?
1.2 million.
1.2 million in Hiroshima.
So middle-sized city?
Yeah, middle size. What was the population in 1945?
300,000.
300,000. Wow. I love that the city has so many areas for walking around, biking. It just feels like a city that has a mix of nature, as well as your modern buildings and everything as well.
Yeah.
Over the next 2 hours, Masa took me around the city to experience the culture of modern Hiroshima, all while seeing some of the other surviving buildings.
90 to 95% of the houses were destroyed because it was built by wood.
Okay.
Most of the house was built by wood. So the only only 5 to 10% remain is because of the concrete or stone or brick.
And these types of structures, if there were survivors, they'd usually be behind one of these thick walls.
Yes.
Yeah. 42 died here. Reading individual stories of what happened to the people in some of these buildings was a really emotional experience, but I could have never imagined what Masa was about to tell me.
2 days later, they opened the bank.
Really? In Hiroshima? That is mind-blowing.
We also had a streetcar at that time, but 3 days later, they start moving. Not near this area, but just about the outside of the area.
Streetcars were burned out. But railroad rolling stock losses were generally light because of their location at the perimeter of the bomb's range. Through service was resumed 2 days after the attack.
This is probably one of those most surprising things
Right.
that I've heard, is that the bank reopened 2 days later, the streetcar reopened. It's nearly impossible to imagine what such a catastrophic thing can do, but it's even harder for me to imagine how after that happens that people have the courage and strength to get up and go back to work that quickly. Really shows the amazing hearts of the people of Hiroshima, because they know they have a job to do for their city, and despite everything happening, they still want to provide what they've been providing to the cities.
This was the elementary school, and it was small. It is very close to the hypocenter, and people escaped or injured people come inside, and somebody taking care of people inside.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Konnichiwa.
There's no phone, so people, the message board?
Yeah, message board.
Yeah, I'm here or I'm there or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It was all burned, so it looks like blackboard. It says Kobayashi, principal of this school. He was dead August 9th.
So when it comes to survivor stories, are there any that you've heard or can remember that have been like very inspiring or powerful, maybe something that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I remember the story of one woman. Many people were working on it. I think it was post office and bomb, and they couldn't get out because all the concrete's covering and shut the door. They couldn't get out, and it's in the darkness. A woman was pregnant, and they kept the space for 3 days, and during that time the people getting died, but one pregnant woman gave birth the baby.
Wow.
Yeah, so the baby crying, people felt some kind of hope.
Yeah.
You know, we must live stronger or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though people are dying, but then your life comes to our lives.
Yeah. When it comes to Hiroshima today, what is it like in terms of all of the second generation people? Is the thought of all the destruction something people commonly think about? Do they look at life differently? Or what's the perspective of such a dark history that's happened?
You know, I think kind of dirty.
Yeah.
To share what happened at that time, and people felt something because guests are coming to Hiroshima to know the sad history.
Yeah.
And I think I appreciate that.
Yeah.
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 And knowing is prevent the future disaster, right?
Definitely.
So if you forgot those kind of things, it repeat.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm grateful the people coming, and to share my stories and the facts is kind of my job, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. It gave me goosebumps. That's really nice. Yeah, it gave me the chills. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Our hope is just future peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see this park, it's very peaceful.
Yeah, it is.
I live nearby this park, so I bring my dog and take a walk
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I arrived last night and I was walking around, and my initial feeling inside of Hiroshima is it's a beautiful city. People are very friendly. I had so many nice encounters just with day-to-day people in the first 24 hours, and
you're lucky.
yeah, I know, right? So lucky. But maybe not lucky, that's just the people here, yeah? Yeah. So
Yeah, maybe because you are so kind
Yeah.
and smiling.
Yeah, absolutely. And that had me feeling, and it's like, you walk around a place with such amazing people, and then you are reminded of some of the things that have happened here, and it's just so different than what a place 80 years ago was like. That was pure destruction, and now it's pure peace and happiness, and just a really a place where you can walk in any part of the city at night and you feel safe and at ease. I spent the rest of the day riding around Hiroshima, trying to process all of the traumatic events that had taken place here. Hiroshima in 2024 is such an impressive city, but I can't help but think how beautiful of a city and culture there is here, and how many people are not here today to experience the world we live in because they were caught in between some political conflict around the world. It makes you wonder why the world can be so hard on the innocent people who never wanted things to end the way they did. And why some people face such extreme tragedy in the darkest times when all they ever wanted were a few basic things: food, family, and the chance to live. And it left one remaining question.
How can humans do this to the others?